Ah, folks. We all love to laugh. We all love looking at comedians that make us laugh, give us insight about the world, and wonder what is going on. Like some of the great comedies of the world: MASH, Neighbors, some of the humor in the MCU, or pretty much National Lampoon's Family Vacation, and of course, Spies Like Us. This is a 1985 spy espionage comedy that stars Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, as they are two people who work for the White House. One of them works with like machines that help decode enemy spies. That is Dan Aykroyd's character, who is Emmett, and then there's Chevy Chase, who plays Austin, who they are both like kind of dissatisfied with their job. They say, yeah, you have to take this foreign exam. You have to take this exam. No cheating, and I'm afraid it was like the foreign correspondence exam or something like that. And Chevy Chase, who has no idea what to do, he goes in the most over the top way of cheating. He comes in with a broken cast, pulls out some answers, he brings out like this long strand of stuff that contains the answers. He even motions to his neighbor, even asks, what is the KGB? And it's, of course, the Russian Secret Service. I forgot what the actual letters in Russian state police, what the actual letters mean. I forgot off the top of my head. They're deemed, okay, we're going to send these two people out. And, the other character, he is given 1 day to study when there was a note saying 2 days ago. 2 weeks ago saying, hey, you have to study for this exam. And, of course, that boss is an asshole. So, of course, they get sent over to training camp where they have to pretty much just do, serious training, but it's done in the most comedic moments. Like, okay, you're going to learn vertical impact training from an airplane. It just falls to the ground. Bog training, bog survivability. They have to go under, and there's just like guns that just try to prevent them from coming out. You'll be judged based on how long you are, etc., etc. And then they get dropped off in the middle of nowhere because they're acting as decoys for the real team, who is going to stop this nuclear warhead, this missile. But, which we do get to them later. So what happens? The most improbable odds of all time of these two, of Chevy Chase, his character being an idiot, and then Dan Aykroyd, who is arguably the brains of the two, who somehow manages to get them through. So, they survive. There are many great scenes. There's where they are mistaken for doctors. And there's the infamous line where they have to say doctor 7 times a piece because there are 7 other doctors, like doctor, 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 etc., etc. And then there's the timing of where he has to perform the surgery, looks down at a book, obviously it's fake as heck, and then the patient arises and he dies. You can't make this up. And then there's the scene of them going to where they somehow managed to cross into Russia. They're wearing these white and gray parkas. You can see them coming down. It's just like, this is just absurdly hilarious stuff. It should be, because it's directed by John Landis, and who has done American Werewolf in London. He has done Kentucky Fried Movie, Blues Brothers, etc. And of course, the best part, Family Guy satirized and paid homage to this in the movie in Spies, reminiscent of us, which was overall, I remember it being, it's been a while since I've seen it, a very, very good tribute to it. Of course, it stars the two actors giving their own voices, and I'm like, okay, what is going on? Like, won't you gentlemen have a Pepsi? And it goes down like, what's going on here? And it turns out that the two kind of people who were handling the agents are like, they go to the drive-in, and they take out a cup, and lo and behold, descends down. I'm like, okay, now the jokes are starting to make sense. Then towards the end, it's kind of like, it gets a little, you can see it thematically a little bit, saying like how there's this journal saying, yeah, peace is for those which only lead to enraging of others, or something like that. But right as they're there, you got 5 Russian soldiers, and you got and you have one of the two actual operatives who are meant to send this missile out, and the two goofballs, they accidentally send this warhead that was going to cause tensions between Russia and America. And ultimately, they get the missile. It explodes in space, and the schmucks who are going to cause this war get arrested. But there are some rather elaborate set pieces. My personal favorite was when they were going to get that missile to launch at an abandoned drive-in. There's the screen, and there's this thing that shoots the beams, which sends it all the way upward. I'm like, that was pretty cool. There was the beautiful shots of Russia. They're actually filmed in Poland, if I'm not mistaken. There was the hilarious taking the test scene that I'm just like, what's going on? I realized, oh yeah, he's just acting over the top to try and get out of it. So overall, it's a dang good movie. I had maybe a couple of problems with it, like it didn't feel like it was gaining much traction. Then I noticed that it's kind of John Landis' thing, where it takes a little bit for things to build up, but when it goes, it just happens. You see the character look at the camera, breaking the fourth wall. Reviews have been mixed. Honestly, I found it's a good fun time. It's a popcorn movie, all right? You put it on for the comedic duo of Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. I mean, even Bob Hope makes a cameo, because this is based off the Road to Blank movies that, again, was paid tribute in Family Guy with Brian and Griffin, Road to the Multiverse, etc., etc. So, yeah, I just first thought it seems like, how exactly are we going to do this? But, again, surviving the odds, going over the top, I laughed a lot. This was a darn good movie. So if you want kind of like a spoof of all the spy movies, of all the action movies going on, and how two goofballs manage to survive truly over the top odds, but somehow save the day, and I would highly recommend you watch Spies Like Us.